Welcome to the Indie Film Hustle Podcast, episode number 22. Pain is temporary, but film is forever. John Milius.
Broadcasting from the back alley in Hollywood, it's the Indie Film Hustle Podcast, where we show you how to survive and thrive as an indie filmmaker in the jungles of the film biz. And here's your host, Alex Ferrari.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your humble host, Alex Ferrari. Don't forget to head over to freefilmbook.com. That's freefilmbook.com to download your free audiobook on film or anything else you like on me. So, guys, before we jump into our topic today, I have an announcement to make. I've been working secretly in my lab to an experiment, if you will, to release my films Broken Sin, Red Princess Blues, and Red Princess Blues Genesis, the anime, in a new final edition, because they have been released a bunch of times prior in different incarnations. But this time, it is all-encompassing. It is everything. It's called Lipstick and Bullets Guerrilla Indie Film School Edition. Now, it's going to have over 6.5, almost 7 hours of tutorials, special content, all sorts of goodies for you, and over 50 videos, including the films. There will be 4 films included in that. We have a ton of audio commentaries breaking different aspects of the filmmaking process down for the films, as well as a bonus you get my book, The Art of Broken, which was released in hardcover, or actually in hard copy a couple years after Broken, or a year and a half after Broken. And it was a very limited edition, and we did sell a bunch of them, but it was very limited. And it goes through the entire art, all the artwork, all the marketing materials that we made on Broken. And in that book, we have the script as well of Broken, but we also have all the artwork and pre-production that we did on the feature film version of Broken that never will be made. But the artwork was stunning. You know, Dan Cregan and I, or Dan specifically, did so much artwork, and Ken Robkin, my collaborators on Broken, did so much artwork on kind of like almost a yearbook for ourselves. But we always love those art of books, like The Art of the Matrix or The Art of Sin City, or any of these books that just show all the cool artwork that went into making these films. So we decided to make one ourselves. You're going to get that for free. Included in the package, where you can download a PDF version, as well as a extras package of all the marketing material that I used for all the movies. So you can see all the poster designs, all the wallpapers, all the different things that I used to market the film. So you can kind of get an idea of what we were doing and how we were selling these movies. You also get my free ebook on how I got into over 500 international film festivals for cheap or free. My secrets to getting into film festivals. So that's also included in this package. It goes over all sorts of things, through everything from pre-production, production, post-production, and marketing. And I actually go into and I've added a bunch of new content, breaking down our website design, how we did it, why I did it, what I did with it, how I marketed the films, heavy on the marketing aspect of things. If you own the Blu-ray, this is going to be a nice addition. If you own the original Broken DVD, this still has a ton of other stuff in it that was not available before. So this is an experiment in self-distribution. I wanted to kind of put it together and see if the Indie Film Hustle tribe, which has been asking, a bunch of people have been asking for this in one way, shape, or form. So I decided to put it together. I'm going to be using VHX.com to house it all and take credit cards through them, and self-distribute this. And I want to see as an experiment to see how it works, how many people buy it. And I'll take that information and bring it back to you guys, show you what's working, what's not working, and hopefully help you guys self-distribute your film. So you can head over to indiefilmhacks.com. That's indiefilmhacks.com. indiefilmhacks.com will take you straight to the website, or not the website, to the webpage on Indie Film Hustle that you can buy it for. Currently, we're going to be selling it for $47 for a limited time. For $47 for everything. You own it. You can watch it whenever you want. You could also rent it for $15. Now, I'm going to give you guys a coupon at the end of this episode to get 20% off of Lipstick and Bullets. So Stay tuned. So, this week's episode, guys, is does your indie film have an audience? And that is a question that every filmmaker should be asking themselves as they go forward in their filmmaking journey. I know so, and man, I've seen so many people walk into my office, into my post suite with films that are so passionate and so wonderful, and they love what they did, and they just want to get it going, but they have no idea not only where they're going to sell it, how they're going to sell it, but if there's even an audience for it. And that was one of my mistakes when I produced a film called Behind Forgotten Eyes. It was a documentary that I produced, God, going almost 10 years ago. It won a lot of awards at festivals and so on, but I didn't know where I was going to sell it, and I just come off, kind of the success I was having, the minimal success I was having on Broken. And I said, hey, I can market anything. I can just push this out. And that movie was about, it's a very, very rough subject. Let's just put it that way. World War II kind of subject matter between Korea and Japan. And it was a wonderful film. Very, very proud of that film. But the problem was I didn't know where to sell it, how to sell it. It was extremely difficult to sell it because of the subject matter. So the director and myself really had no idea where to sell it, and had no idea where to go forward with it. At the end of the day, it kind of just sat there. No one ever really did anything with it. I mean, he sold it a little bit here and there. The director did, and we got some distribution. We sold it to a couple countries for distribution, but nothing major. Not enough to get our money back, that's for damn sure. But it was a simple question that could have been asked prior to making it. Now, with that kind of film specifically in that documentary, it was a passion project. It was something that he felt very strongly about, and he wanted to tell this story and try to help. And that's one aspect, and that's one angle of going through filmmaking, especially with documentaries. A lot of documentaries are just about trying to get the word out about a specific cause or a story that's not getting enough attention, regardless if it could sell or not. For narrative films and also for documentaries, but it just depends on what you want out of your documentary and what you want out of your film. If your point is just to get this movie made and tell the story, great. If your point is about trying to make money and sustain a career doing this, then this is a question that you need to ask yourself every time you start writing a script for a feature film or for a short film, but more specifically for feature films. Short films you could be much more experimental with. But with a feature film, you have to ask, do I have an audience? And I've had so many filmmakers I've talked to that have a blank stare. I'm like, who's your audience for this film? Oh, well, it's a demographic between 18 and I'm like, no, that's not your audience. You can't afford to market to 18 to 35-year-old males. You just can't. You can't afford to do that. The studios can afford to do that because they could just throw millions and millions of dollars at that demographic and they'll get some awareness for their films. But you won't. You can't do that. You have to be very, very specific about who your audience is. And before you go down this long journey of making a movie, damn it, man, you better know that answer. Because if you don't know that answer, you can work a year or two on a movie sometimes. And at the end of it all, you go to some festivals, you get some plays, you might win a few awards, and then what? You're stuck holding this film that you can't sell. Nobody wants to see it because there's no real audience for it. So you have to kind of ask yourself, who wants to watch this? Now, again, if this is just art and you're just making art for art's sake, then my God, do it. That's fine. But for the rest of us who not only want, but need to make money, you have to ask this question and answer it very, very clearly. So once you've identified your audience, go find out where they are and then start marketing to them. It's called crowdsourcing. You should start crowdsourcing your movie prior to it even being written in some ways. If you feel really strongly about you're going to make this movie, start figuring out where your audience is hanging out. And go hang out in the same places where your audience hangs out. Start talking to them, start engaging them, and you start crowdsourcing these people. Ask them questions. Ask them, hey, would anybody here want to see this kind of movie? This is the kind of movie I want to make. Who's the stars you want to make? Put those in these movies. Do you need stars in this movie? Do you need this kind of topic? What is this a cool topic? And so on, man. Man, I'm telling you, if you understand who your audience is, you're so far ahead of the game, it's not even funny. This is what I did with Broken. I actually identified who my target audience was going to be, which I knew was going to be independent filmmakers. Now, I didn't know this when I was making the movie. I wasn't that far ahead at that time yet. But after the movie was done, I was like, well, wait a minute. I think I can sell this short film, and I don't think anyone's going to buy it in the real world, but they will buy it. I think independent filmmakers will buy it because they're going to want to know how I was able to do this and just share this information, because there wasn't anything like this in the marketplace at the time. So I went to the forums. There was no Facebook at the time. There was MySpace. It was crazy. But I went to these places where all these independent filmmakers hung out, and I started talking to them. I started engaging them. I started showing them trailers, showing them behind the scenes, and people got so excited. But by the time that I launched the DVD for sale, we made almost $5,000 in the first day. That's huge for us. For a little short film that was made for $8,000, that's insane. So ask that question, guys. Who is your audience? And does my film have an audience? Answer that question. Go find that audience and start marketing to that audience. And I've talked before in other episodes, like how to make your indie film into a money-making machine, on how to treat your film like a business, and how to think about it as a business, because it's show business, and the business is double the letters of the word show for a specific reason. So I've already covered that in other episodes, but in this episode, ask that question and answer it. And trust me, you will thank me for it. And you're not Quentin Tarantino or Woody Allen or Martin Scorsese just yet, for people who will just show up to your movie because you made it. That will come, but you first have to figure out who your audience is. So as promised, guys, I'm going to give you a coupon code for Lipstick and Bullets, the Guerrilla Film School Edition. It is going to be IFH Tribe. That's IFH Tribe. And that gives you 20% off the purchase price, not the rental price, but the purchase price. So that, once again, that coupon is IFH Tribe. Just go in there when you're signing out, or when you're putting in your information, just say get coupon, and just type in the coupon code, and you'll get your 20% off, man. So thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think of, please let me know what you think of Lipstick and Bullets. If there's anything I can add to it, if there's anything that's missing, what you think about it, if you like it, what you don't like. I'm here. I'm open. I want to learn from you guys, because I want to serve you guys as best I can and give you great content and great information so you can go off and make your movie. So thank you again, guys, for all the support. Thank you for making this podcast blow up. People are going crazy for this podcast, and I'm getting crazy amounts of downloads and crazy amount of subscriptions for this podcast. So thank you so much. Please don't forget to head over to iTunes and leave me a honest review of the show. And it really helps me out a lot. It helps the show out a lot to get seen by more people who want and need to hear the show. So thanks again, guys. Keep that dream alive. Keep that hustle going. Talk to you soon, man. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Indie Film Hustle podcast at indiefilmhustle.com. That's INDIEFILMHUSTLE.com.